This week on the podcast, we're joined by Indiefalco 64, who tells us about V-Rising. I do, in fact, have a phone and have played a little bit of Diablo Immortal. And of course, it's the first show of the month. We have Deals of the Month. All of that and more in this week's episode of the podcast. Roll the intro.
We got dubstep in here?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Absolutely magical. Please be at my wedding. Be the DJ.
Yeah, I will actually. Just give me a microphone and I will like just do intensifying slowly lowered decibels in the microphone until everyone leaves.
I do have a quick question for you guys. Do you want to hear a dubstep love song? I love you. Anyways, hello,
Thanks,
welcome
Dad.
to next. Hello, welcome to
I
next.
love you too.
Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I'm your host, Danny K. With me, as always, the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Green Elite. Green, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm okay.
He's so sexy.
I'm here. I'm alive. I woke up this morning. You know, the usual. But in all seriousness, I'm doing pretty good. I took the day to tinker with some things, especially my audio. So hopefully it sounds good.
You sound
yeah,
crisp and
He sounds
clear.
sexy.
thanks. I try. Danny, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain. At least not yet. We're also joined by the Spooky and the Ookly, the Mendachi. Mendachi, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm pretty ukely, man. I spent all day throwing metal and sand and stuff, and I just got a headache, and it could be from the aluminum shavings and powder that I inhaled for 10.5 hours today, or it could be the fact that I put, probably way too many hours into Diablo Immortal, and I came back lesser for it.
Yeah,
Could be a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Yeah, probably both.
Yeah, that could definitely be a part of it. We're also joined by Indiefalco 64, who we were supposed to have on 3 weeks ago, but you were feeling under the weather. Indy, I'm so glad that you could join us this week. I'm glad that you're feeling well enough to come on. For those who have not met you yet, who are you? What do you do? And where can people find you?
I am Indiefalco 64. I play a lot of indie games, rare occasion, some AAA stuff. Mostly find me on Twitch. I am also on Twitter, both by Indiefalco 64, so not too hard to find. I think I'm on YouTube too, but I'm like working on like trying to change the name and the URL and stuff, but that one's a little harder to find. But I am also on YouTube. And yeah, that's it, man. Content creator, play a lot of games, love pixel art to death. Love indie games, old school games, you name it, man. Especially spoopy stuff. I love the spoops.
Yeah.
I'm working on my URL for my YouTube as well. Like I hopefully can change that in the near future because I think my URL for my personal page is still spicy cornhole. From when I made
that? What?
I made it in like 2011, something like that.
yeah.
So yeah.
Beautiful.
I thought what would be funny, a spicy butthole.
Yeah.
I love
11
it.
years. 11
Keep it.
years of having a red hot brown ring.
So two things real quick before I forget. Guys, we have a project that's in the works that Indy is deeply involved in. So make sure you follow the Next to Nothing Twitter for when we finally announce that. Or well, it's kind of an open secret, but I'm gonna leave the mystery here. So make sure you guys follow the Next to Nothing podcast Twitter for when all those announcements and like when things start. And then also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube because we're working really hard to get 500 subscribers. So don't forget to subscribe to the Next to Nothing YouTube. But guys, thanks for watching and listening to the show. If you miss any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. If you want to join us live, you can do that on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Central Time on Twitch. If you want to be a part of the show, you can answer the question of the week. This week, we're asking, what would you name your game studio, and what kind of games would you make? I have one, but I'm gonna ask Indy first.
Yeah, of course you had to go to me first. I forgot about this and I stopped thinking about it. I don't know what I would name it, but it'd absolutely be indie games and pixel art games galore. because I have a big heart for that. And the most important thing for making games, besides intelligence and a good business plan, is pouring love into it. If you don't pour love into your games, then it's hard for other people to love it, you know?
Yeah. Mendachi.
Probably.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
Ooh.
Indy. What are you
No,
gonna say?
no. You're good. I'm good.
Okay.
You're good? You sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Mine would probably be Team Quarrel, and we would just make
Ooh.
fighting games. You'd
Ooh.
have like big old like bloody cut up Quarrel, and then there would be a laurel of leaves, like say a laurel that you would give to a gladiator champion when he
Mm-hmm.
wins a fight, before you feed him to the lion, because that's your gift. You don't get freedom. There is only blood.
Nice.
Damn.
Metal.
Fucking metal. Green. How about you?
The studio that I like, the name for the studio I would have is called Only 151, and I would make an exclusive deal with Nintendo to only
Ooh.
remake every so often, like every I would say 5 years, like remake the original Gen 1 Pokemon games
Fucking
Hot.
every 5
heathen.
years.
Fucking
Hot. I
There's
love
heathen.
it.
only 151 Pokemon.
Man,
Fight me.
you're
I'd be buying. I'd be buying every single release.
are you looking to catch these hands?
You know where I live. Walk around and find out, Danny.
It's true, you can't sneak up on Green's house because of the absolute swarm of pugs.
And cameras. I'm a paranoid person. Okay.
My game studio would be called Zen Garden Games, and then we would make those simulator games like Power Washing Simulator that like you
Ooh.
just like they're just Zen. You know, House
Mm.
Flipper.
I feel that. I feel that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, like Euro, Road Trucker, stuff like that. Those are the kind of games. The shut your farming simulator, all those kind of Zen garden games. That's what we'd produce. So guys, let us know in the comments, or you can tweet at us at NTN pod. No, next to nothing pod.
At next to nothing PC.
At next to nothing PC. Thank you. On Twitter. Let us know what you guys think, or you can also answer us on Spotify if you're on Spotify. So let's not bury the lead too much. There is a very controversial game out right now. Let's go on ahead and start with Diablo Immortal. Are you okay, Green?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what happened, but the cat like just jumped off my arm, and all of a sudden I heard nothing. So.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah,
it evaporated.
Let's talk about Diablo Immortal. It is probably one of the most controversial games that we'll talk about in a very long time. Yeah. It was incredibly controversial when it was introduced and very memed on, and it's finally out, and it really doesn't seem like it's going to be getting any less controversial, and probably will continue to get memed on for a while. So some of the opening information: Diablo Immortal should be available in all countries and territories except for Belgium and Netherlands, possibly due to those countries' regulations on loot box and microtransactions. It's available on iOS and Android devices as well as PC natively, I might add. You just need to go to the Battle.net store front because they knew you were just going to emulate it anyways.
Mhm.
So why miss out on any extra revenue to the Google Play Store when you're gonna just emulate it on something like that? For transparency's sake, I only played the first 2-ish at most hours of the game in pretty sporadic bursts. I basically got past the Skeleton King, and that's the part of the gameplay itself I'm basing my impressions on. I also played on my what is now becoming a geriatric iPhone X. You guys, I can't remember exactly. Mendachi, I know you played. Green, you haven't. Indy, have you played?
No, but I have been watching pretty closely. I didn't want to utilize the hours on it, to put it nicely.
Gotcha. Green, I'm correct. You haven't played, right?
I have not played.
Okay.
No, I don't. Yeah, no.
Okay.
We'll just leave it at that. No.
Mendachi, how much have you played, and what were you playing on?
Okay, so I played on a Samsung. I guess it'd be a 20S FE or whatever the hell they call Samsung phones anymore. Yeah, basically it's this big. And it's got like it's got pretty good like processing power. That doesn't really stop the game from being chunky as hell, and it's certainly got hot as balls. Like the screen was hot to the touch. Yeah, it was fine, but as far as like, cell phone games go, especially ones where you have freedom of movement, a cell phone screen is like just too small. This game like loves to just fill up the whole screen with just shit.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about all that
Hmm.
here in a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
but basically, like, yeah, like if you are gonna check this out, like cell phone, man, no, like get a tablet.
I would say even like a larger phone than like if you get like a Max, like an iPhone, like
Yeah,
any of the iPhone Maxes, any of those like larger screens would be better than at least the 10. Um,
yeah. I think mine's like maybe 3 inches wide and then about roughly 5.5, maybe close to 6 inches long.
yeah.
My phone.
Um, so yeah, the gameplay for this is a lot like how you'd expect any other Diablo game to play. Same isometric top-down view, fighting hordes of monsters in an ARPG genre standard way, right? Diablo set the standard for hack and slash and ARPGs. Um, so that there's not too much really here to be like surprised about. On the left hand side of the screen, you have at least when you play mobile, you have a virtual joystick that's used to move, and then on the right screen is all your abilities and actions that you can activate. There's also some other stuff with like chat and whatever else. The game does tote itself as a mobile MMORPG experience, so you do see other players around the map, player chat, and you'll be doing dungeons with other players. Uh, the game, you have some of the, I think, what's kind of considered classic Diablo classes, like the Barbarian, Crusader, Demon Hunter, Monk, Necromancer, and Wizard. Does that sound correct to you, Mendachi?
At least for Diablo 3, Barbarian's like been a long-standing class.
Yeah.
So same thing with Wizard. Uh, Monk is also like Diablo 2, I believe, but like things like Demon Hunter and Crusader, those are Diablo 3 add-ons for sure. Um, this game does have like you said, Necromancer as well. That's an old school that Diablo 3 players actually had to wait for a long time to actually see. So it was kind of cool to actually see a ton of choices right off the bat as far as characters go.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. That was a weird little Discord thing. Okay, so as someone who's like relatively new to Diablo, but I have played some Diablo clones and I've like watched that kind of contact. And as I was saying, like my dad was a huge Diablo 2 player. I watched my dad play a lot of Diablo 2. Um, the game looks pretty standard for the genre and what Diablo is in terms of the gameplay itself, right? I don't think you're going to be looking at anything revolutionary or groundbreaking for the genre uh or like the franchise, right? So the game is free to play, but it's really heavily monetized, and we're going to talk about that. Um, well, let's talk about it now. Like, in what ways? Because it's caused a lot of controversies. Like, in what ways is the game monetized? Well, here are just a few of the things that uh, Blizzard wants you to buy. They have a battle pass, because of course there is. And it's pretty much what you would expect. Additional gear for when you level up and complete certain things within the season. And you can get the battle pass for $5 or another one for like $15. That is just like you get the rewards quicker.
Yeah, that one also, it's not just rewards quicker, but it's actually like you'll progress as normal and it will give you some like extra gold, like just plain without the battle pass, you get gold and you get a couple different resources. If you buy the $15 battle pass, you're getting tokens to buy loot boxes and stuff
Yeah.
in order to actually like get the full I guess value, if you will. It takes an exceptional amount of time for you to actually get that bar all the way filled up. And at the end of that, it's a skin for your character. But yeah, it's loot box tokens and crap like that.
Yeah. Uh, you can get cosmetics. You can pay for cosmetics, which on its own, I like skins and stuff like that. Cosmetics aren't like the biggest deal in the world. In terms of, but it depends on how they sell them to you. There's a premium currency called Eternal Orbs that can be exchanged into platinum, which can then be used to buy in-game items. Bundles, which come with Eternal Orbs and cosmetics, you can buy. There are crests, which are loot modifiers for Elder Rifts, which are dungeons, like these special dungeons. So you can buy these items that increase your chance of getting drops in these in these dungeons. Anything you want to add there, Mendachi?
Yeah, so as far as rifts go, that was like a really huge portion, is still a huge portion for Diablo 3. They've got like their Nephilim rifts and greater rifts. In order to get to these, you would have to farm some pretty exceptional items, and then going in, you were almost always guaranteed to have a pretty wild time. Uh, Big boss battle at the end, so on and so forth. These rifts you can do solo, you can also have a party. I highly recommend a party because enemies in this game are damage sponges. Without actually using any of these purchasable tokens, by the way, you're not going to get jack shit because the RNG for good equipment in Diablo Immortal is so out of this world. More often than not, you are going to get some dog doo doo. So I've tried a couple rifts where I've just done no tokens, and yeah, you're gonna leave with a whole bunch of stuff to salvage at the blacksmith. If you use say like the high end purple token, you're going to at least walk away with one legendary item, which would be a gold colored item that typically have really good stats and they have bonus stuff and everything like that. Like it's just so ridiculously better to use the things that you would otherwise have to spend money on. And the first time that you actually go to do one of those rifts, you're given a quest, and it essentially gives you a tutorial, and then it gives you one of those. Because what do you do when you go to a casino and like you win once? You're like, all right, here's your voucher, man.
Yeah.
Have a night at the hotel, bro. How about you stay a little while? Yeah.
Right. Oh,
You
here's a
gotta
free
have
drink
the
on the
first one for
house.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Free
Exactly.
buffet ticket just for you.
Yeah, how about you hang out a while? I bet after you eat some food and have some drinks, you'll want to go back to the table.
Yeah. So like the game is really heavily monetized. And it's been a big point of criticism. It's actually, I was looking at the Metacritic score and it's like under 1 for users because of the monetization. So I'm actually not going to quote the number here because I was listening to their video earlier, but Bellular News did like a breakdown, and it could take several thousands of dollars to upgrade a character fully. The number that was getting tossed around from like their breakdown, I guess, wasn't exactly accurate. It was like $110,000.
Yeah, that was the number that I had seen. $110,000
Same.
for a fully vamped up character, and
Yeah.
I believe the Metacritic score was like 0.8.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Okay, back to Diablo Immortal.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about how much money it could take to fully upgrade a character. Now, the number that people were quoting from Bellular News was like $110,000.
Yeah.
That's not accurate.
Oh.
From what Bellular was saying earlier today. That was just like, I don't know what the exact number is, but it could be like very exorbitant to fully upgrade a character. And part of that is because of like having to get the crest modifiers and like orbs and stuff like that. You basically have a randomized chance to progress. So if you think about it, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of what EA got in trouble for with Battlefront 2,
Yeah.
and how progression was tied to loot boxes, very similar situation where in order to progress, you have to get certain items that are randomly dropped. Some items with like a 5% drop, which I guess in MMOs is not like super duper low, but is also still a pain in the ass.
Yeah, in comparison, when Diablo 3 launched, there were some items that had a sub 1% drop rate. And then getting that item to actually drop with stats that were actually pertinent to your character or build, it basically, like, I mean, it's a measurable numerical value, but you might as well call it impossible at that point. I don't think that this has, like, taken that many steps back. I mean, Diablo 3 launched in, like, I think it was 2012. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
they've been dealing with that for, 10 years.
Yeah.
So speaking of 10 years, we did talk about that $110,000 deal. Or if you don't want to spend money, I've been seeing and hearing a lot lately that it would just take you 10 years of daily play, going through your dailies and going through quests. So, I mean,
It's
like,
it's
10 years, not too
longevity.
bad.
It's longevity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clash of Clans definitely lasted that long.
Yeah. Right. Oh god. Yeah, just match the colors to get the AK so you can shoot the zombies so that they won't bite the lady in the bathroom. 10 years mobile game.
So
Yeah, that's wild.
yeah, so I did actually ask my Discord, like, just hey guys, I want some thoughts. Friend of the show, Max, had this to say. He hasn't reached the main problem of the game, which seems to be strictly at end game. Most mobile games for him, about 4 to 6 hours of early game, fun to hook you in, followed by either paying for more fun time or waiting 8 hours to get enough for about 1 or 2 hours of fun time. And he hasn't really the game really hasn't hit that with a level cap of 60. He's played for about 20 hours and sitting at level 45, and dealing with kind of like the first soft wall, he says, of leveling starting around 30. You start to hit restrictions for story quests, which is pretty normal in mobile games. And you kind of make up the XP deficit with bounties, or are limited to a 12-day like refill timer.
Yeah. Yep.
The bounties are generally kill X quests, so they are pretty easy, and the rifts are what you will be grinding for the end game anyway. The crux of the problem are with the crests. You need these rifts. The eternal legendary crests are the loot box of the game. They are extremely rare and nigh impossible to get for a free to play player. End game is to build out a legendary set of gear with 6 legendary gems. Both gear and gems can be leveled up, and here is the stickler: the legendary gems can be 1 star to 5 star. The 1 stars and 2 stars can be crafted. The good gems are RNG. Max is actually, he says he's loving the game. It's the least mobile game he's played, but having looked up the end game dilemma is going to be fun to work around, according to him. That's Max Demosis's opinion on on it. Mendachi, continue with some of your thoughts.
So, first and foremost, this is like, imagine if Blizzard didn't make Diablo, like someone else did, and then Blizzard came out with this. It basically feels like someone else's take on a Diablo-esque game. It's like a Diablo clone. It throws the typical things at you that you've come to know about Diablo, like your classes, the general story and atmosphere, including most of the NPCs. You've got RNG equipment. You got piles of cannon fodder enemies that just explode in blood piles and bones every time you punch them. And just busted ass elites, things that are throwing out arcane cannons along with jailers that throw up walls while also throwing mortar shells. It kind of feels more like about 6 years into Diablo 3's life, where they still didn't really necessarily have like a good grasp on balance for the different attributes that their elite crowds could have. And then you also have these sprawling dungeons. The big issue that I have with sprawling dungeons in this is I'm not sitting down, controller in my hands, got my friends in my ears on my headset or whatever, and we're just going through hanging out. I am sitting down with a boiling hot phone in my hands, probably on like a break at work, and you've thrown a 3 to 5 floor dungeon at me. Dungeons in this are not just straight line hallways either. They are like rounded, they are asymmetrical, they are big squares filled with little squares in them, and all these other like errant hallways that are also filled with enemies. And of course, if you don't kill all the enemies, you're not going to get all of your chances to get better loot. In order to get the most out of any sort of Diablo experience, you're going to want to kill everything and search every corner so that you can get more chances to get better equipment. And that does not change here with Diablo Immortal. You level up fast, you get new skills, just like end state Diablo 3, where you could level up fairly quickly. Though I did notice that that started to taper off once you get to your mid 20s. I myself have played for about 5-6 hours, and I've gotten to level 30 and then tried a whole bunch of events. So I would say that a majority of that time is not spent actually fighting. It's actually just going, talking to an NPC, getting a quest, walking to another area, and then talking to another NPC, walking to another area, clear a mob, grab an item, walk back to an NPC. It's very, very monotonous, and it is just absolutely painful, foot dragging, just like your first time that you ever played Diablo 3. This is something that players who have beat Diablo 3, that's when you actually get to enjoy the game, because you can go into adventure mode. You can go into just like seasonal mode, things like that, where you don't have to worry about the monotonous, kind of long, dragged out story of go here, do this, go here, do that, and rinse, repeat. However, that's this entire game. Alongside that, the skills that your characters have, at least for the monk that I played, are basically carbon copies of everything that the monk was capable of in Diablo 3. You start out with the ability to use Seven-Sided Strike, which is a phenomenal and very cool looking monk skill that you had in Diablo 3. And then your next one is a sort of like dive kick, like cool thing that you can bounce off of walls and smash into groups of enemies. A lot of these things, while they weren't exactly that, you had very, very similar abilities in Diablo 3. So it doesn't really feel like they've actually gone in to do much different from a game that was out for 10 years. Uh, yeah, it's like it just has like a little bit more flavor. That's about it. The weapon and armor designs are great. I haven't really seen a lot of rinse repeat stuff as far as that goes, so that's nice. It's also really nice to be able to customize your characters, even just a little bit. Like you can go in, there's 3 faces to choose from for males and females, and you have a few hairstyles. There's nothing crazy. You can choose your hair color, and then it has some sliders and stuff like that. Like that's fine. But like you'll never even see that ever because you're wearing piles of armor, and then you're also staring at a phone about yay big, and it's an isometric top-down view anyway, so you're never really going to see them. Uh, there's a gear leveling system as well, which is nice, that Diablo 3 didn't have. So it allows your rare equipment to have more life than, the previous title. And you've still got gem slots, and then grinding for better gems and leveling those gems. And but if that sounds really awful, you could just buy resources with real dollars to level them harder and faster, though. What did this run
Yeah.
like for you, by the way, Danny?
It ran okay. I don't know. It just wasn't a great experience, just because playing a game like this idea for me that like you can create these fully like AAA experiences on mobile phones is a little annoying,
Yeah.
just simply because like playing on a phone is not like wanting to play for hours on a phone is not a desire that I have.
No,
Like
no, especially not
yeah,
on like cell service, man. Like thinking
no.
about 4G, 5G, like why the fuck would I want to see that phone bill?
Yeah. Well, and like the ergonomics of it too. Like the ergonomics of like sitting hunched over your phone, like in
A
twiddling your thumbs.
goblin.
Yeah, like that is not very comfortable. Like you using my phone like on the couch, like why? I don't know. It just is not like uh it's not a very interesting. And by the way, using my phone on the couch, I mean to play games, not like to scroll Twitter. I do that. But
Right, yeah,
Plus
um
the
exactly. Like we're talking
plus the
about a
lack
long form game.
yeah.
yeah, plus the lack of like actual physical analog like joysticks and stuff like that is
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate I
Uh
hate mobile games for that reason. Like you almost have to like get a controller to
Mhm.
attach to your phone.
Yeah, well, games
Yeah.
like card games and stuff like that are fine. Like puzzle games, that's all fine. Like
Yeah.
like I don't require the tactile feedback of that. But I kind of
This
want
is a
to.
game that absolutely needs tactile feedback from the thumbstick too. We have enemies that are doing area of effect attacks, like line attacks
Yeah,
and like rounded attacks. Like you need to get around this person, or they start throwing out waves of projectiles, and it's like I need to move out of the way. And it's like, yeah, actually, what you can do is try to move your thumb in a way that the game realizes you're trying to use your thumbstick, and then slowly move in the other direction.
yeah. I kind of want to wrap up our thoughts here a little bit,
Hmm.
but Indy, I know you have some thoughts. I'll go to you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'll preface it with I used to be very, very biased in loving Blizzard for the longest time, since probably like 2003 on up to like 2013, 14-ish. And it kind of died down after Diablo 3 because it just kind of I don't know, it just took the Diablos and just made it a little too simple, dulled down, even though the art and the music was just on point. It's still a good game though. Like I'm not knocking Diablo 3. But since then, I pretty much hated them for a ton of reasons. Even for Destiny 2 and hooking their claws into that stuff. That just I don't know. That burned me. But after looking at Diablo Immortal, it is everything I assumed it was gonna be. It is oh god, there's so many it makes me mad, but I'm not gonna go
Hmm.
crazy about it. But it is free to play game. It has the free to play format of guess what? We're gonna get you eventually. Sure,
Yeah.
whatever. Cosmetics, never against that. I've always loved that. Cool. It's like a love mechanic in my eyes. Like if you love the game, you'll support it in that way. And let me tell you, they make bukus off of that. Just look at like Fortnite or whatever.
Right.
Um, and that's great. That's cool. But it looks like they basically just took Diablo 3. It's just Diablo 3 to me. Like every time I watch it, I haven't played any of it because I don't want to. I don't want to waste the hours. No offense to
Hmm.
anybody. But it just it looks like a dumber Diablo 3.
Yeah.
And I hate to be like crude, but I mean, it's what it looks like. Everything I've been seeing, right? Not only that, And I think mobile is smart. I think that's a cool decision, actually. I'm totally for that. I get that. It might not be good on every phone. It might be good on some. Mobile gaming is not particularly comfortable. Sometimes you need other accessories to make it decent. And that's just unfortunately just how it is right now. But it just it's just really showing the true form of Blizzard and how greedy they are and how much they want to milk that nostalgia out of you until you are just dry. And that just, oh God, it bothers me.
Oh
And
yeah,
then,
for sure.
to top it off, they've been dumbing down their games, no offense to anybody again, over the years since like, I don't know, like 2008, 9-ish, something like that. And I played Diablo 1, Diablo 2, WoW and stuff. Not so much their RTSs. I'm just not an RTS guy. But it's been getting dumber and dumber. And like I noticed in Diablo 3, you just blow through most of the content. Like it's dumb easy until you get to rifts and greater rifts. Totally different. I get it. Love it. It was fun for a while. The season mechanics are cool, awesome. But this is just it's kind of like a slap on the face in my eyes, even though I'm not playing it, which is kind of ironic. But what makes me the most mad, and it's kind of weird, besides their obviously greedy approach, because the business formula is showing so hard, like way beyond any love that they ever had in their games, is the fact that they come to mobile in this almost gotcha like system, this free to play formula that is so heavily just buy these crests, And it's like, please
Hmm.
stop, dude. And you kind of, I mean, I don't want to play this game for 10 years, dude. I'll play it for like 2 or 3. I think that's the most I've ever played a game other than like single player stuff I'll revisit. And it's just the way they do it, it feels like a slap in the face to other like this formula's been around for a while. Why are they coming at this so effing late? Oh man, like come on, dude. Just get with the times, please. Like
There's also tons of things that they
way
learned in the
behind.
past that they decided to go back on. The game does have an auction
Yeah.
house, which does open up by the time that you hit. I think it's like level 25 or 26.
Okay.
No real world dollars for the auction house, but yeah, like you can imagine the in-game economy is fucked. Then
Yeah.
obviously like you're gonna need gold in order to level up your
Yeah.
different items, your gems, so on and so forth. So of course there are gold farmers that immediately just flood the
Immediately.
in-game chat, and if you're on phone, it's
Mhm.
literally in the middle of the screen. It's just constantly going, "Hey, we'll get gold for your account while you're sleeping."
That's more annoying than
It's
ever. Great.
yeah, yeah. It's literally Baron's chat from World of Warcraft for all my
Oof.
OG vanillas and Burning Crusaders out there. You know the Baron's
Brutal.
chat, you remember. But yeah, it's lovely. It's like everything that
And
they learned before, they just decided to act like they have amnesia.
Yeah.
And speaking of, gold farmers and such, that's also a problem. This is now a free to play format, which is like super riddled with that type of demographic of, gold farmers or something farmers, whatever, making a
Mhm.
profit. Can't say I blame them, but at the same time, oh God, that's gonna mess with that game real hard. And even if you get rid of them, just come back on a free account. Like, doesn't
Yep.
matter. Um, Overall, I hate it. As with everything Blizzard, Activision, and I haven't even played it, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm so glad. And I think that pretty much sums up my thoughts on it. I despise Blizzard, so here we are.
Nice.
Um. Yeah. Anything else on Diablo Immortal?
Just a short thing in closing.
Okay.
So basically, if you are a hardcore Diablo fan, know that Diablo Immortal throws the entire story of Diablo 3 out the window, treats this more like 3.5, takes everything that gave your characters agency in 3 and just decides to do the laundry and make you wear it again. All these NPCs that died in 3, yeah, they didn't die, and they're here to give you more quests and talk at you. um, I'd definitely like to note that you'll be locked out of enjoying all of your end-game activities like rifts and stuff like that unless you do drop a fuckload of money, like we've been saying. And the game will constantly try to make you to get those make those purchases at the end of dungeons when you level up. Every time that you open up a different menu, you get a reminder every day to look at the boxes, the loot boxes, and things like that to purchase. And then at the end of quest lines, like I said as well, just make sure like they just try to give you a crumb and then also show you that you're only $15 to $99 away from having the cake. So in closing, it's basically a Diablo adjacent game that tries to clone what made Diablo 3 fun while trying to get you to buy Diablo 3 over and over again every 5 to 10 minutes. Personally, I might try to play every character class until I get tired of being constantly berated to spend money. But that's being optimistic, man. I put, like I said, about 1,100 hours into Diablo 3 over the course of the 10 years it was out. So it's just something that I kind of mindlessly zombie away. And so it's like, it's no different than any other cell phone game for me.
Yeah. Anything else? Otherwise, I say we go to break.
Let's go to break.
Break it is.
Green?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, guys, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay right there. All right, and we are back. Thank you guys for letting us take that break. We kind of started the show out on something a little sour, right? We started out a little sour. Let's go into something sweet. Indy, you've been playing V Rising. Tell us all about it.
V Rising. Yeah, I'd be happy to. I think it's only available on PC right now. But it is a survival game. It is very vampire gothic themed. You are essentially a vampire trying to become the vampire lord of all the lands and then some, and essentially put in this world that absolutely hates you. So it's interesting. Everything wants to murder you because you're a vampire. It is, I think it was $20 when I bought it. I don't know if it's on deal anywhere or not. It's pretty easy on the eyes, pretty easy on the pocket as well. And I don't think it's terribly difficult to run it, graphically speaking. And this is an early access game. Typically, I am not. I try not to buy early access because I've just been burned a lot of bad experiences. It's just too much of a wait. And I'm just like, you know what? Whatever, dude. I'm just gonna wait. And this one I got suckered into because I love playing with my boy Casual Knowledge. I love this dude. And he was just like, we gotta play. And I'm like, ugh. That's just dreading it at first. So we picked it up, and it's got a cool little character creator to start with. Lots of hairstyles and stuff. You're a sexy vampire no matter what, male, female, whatever. I don't know. Is there other gender options with the male, female? I'm not really sure. Hopefully there is. If not, I'm sure they'll put it in eventually.
Yeah.
But the aesthetic of the game is great. It's just very smooth, well put together. The physics are nice. Everything's very flowy. It's got good shadowing. It's just a gorgeous game. And it's not like a super detailed game. It's kind of got that Breath of the Wildness to it, where you have like these nice shaded and colored characters and features, but it's not like super detailed. But your mind just kind of like fills in the detail. But it's a very pretty world. It plays very much like an ARPG, like Diablo, but thankfully not Diablo. But it is a survival game at heart. You are a vampire trying to survive. You start off in a graveyard. You get to choose what side of this fairly large map that you want to kind of emerge from. Now you can play on public servers. You can play on your own server. You can host a server and let your buddies join, which would host from you, obviously. And you can also do a dedicated server, which you can set up on your PC, which I've heard some people have trouble with. A little finicky right now, early access again. But dedicated servers is another option they have, whether you do it, or you have an extra PC to do it, whether you go to like a private company to do it. It's pretty dope, and that's what my friend Casual Knowledge and I play on, is dedicated server from an alternative company. And it's great. We love it. But anyways, you venture out, and it is, what I love about it most is it's very well organized, right? You're never like, oh God, where do I go? What do I do? You're not wandering around for an eternity. You're basically mostly looking at your blood altar to tell you where to go to fight these V-blooded humans. They're very, very powerful bosses. So if you ever get lost, you can look at that and basically just tackle those anytime you don't know. What I really love about the game is that not only does everything hate you as a vampire, but and obviously everything pretty much wants to kill you. But everything's challenging. Even just the environment is challenging because the sun absolutely sucks in this game. You can eventually get like sun resistance and stuff, and you can always hide in the shadows to help prevent any damage. but there is a quick build up initially, and eventually it'll be a very slow build up if you have decent equipment or potions or whatever. There's a lot of crafting options in the game with customization. It's very, like I said, it's very gothic vampire, like you would expect. Absolutely gorgeous. You'll be doing plenty of farming for materials, whether it's bone, stone, wood, various metal ores, etc. A lot like any other survival game you would play. And what's nice about it is, and I'm not much of a stickler for survival games. That's part of why I was actually dreading it at first. But you don't really have to worry about food and water so much as you just have to worry about blood. And it's a very, very, very slow drain. You could be out for, I don't know, at least, I think probably close to like an hour straight without having to ever feed if you don't have to. There are powers that utilize that blood, but just the blood by itself, you don't have to worry about for the most part. So I guess it's, man, I don't know where to go from here. So essentially, the world is designed in that you start in kind of a starting area. Things are fairly easy, and then it gets harder as you progress. The V-blooded enemies are all very different in how they attack and approach you, their special abilities, all that, and they are very challenging. And that's probably one of the things I love most about it. But it's, man, it's a beautiful game for $20 and early access. This thing just, I poured so many hours into it, and I'm just still in love with it. Still have not beaten all the bosses, or ventured in all the areas and gotten all the things I've wanted. But there's no tricks, there's no gimmicks. I mean, it's just $20. Go to it. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful survival game. It's challenging. You can invite your friends, and it is weirdly fluid and just smooth as butter. I think for early access, I've only found one bug personally, and that's where some of the V-blooded humans will sometimes warp. Like they're typically wandering around, some of them, and
Mhm.
sometimes they'll warp back to their origin, back and forth. But it's pretty rare, thankfully, and I mean, it's pretty easy to avoid. You could just run away. And what's cool about being a vampire too, by the way, is you're not just a vampire. You will find equipment drops. You will find silver, which burns a little bit, but eventually it's not so bad. You get different forms, like the wolf form. You get a bear form, a rat form, human form, so you can just chill out in a village and nobody's gonna ask questions, even if you're like slightly smoldering from the sun. Weird, but okay. It's really silly in that aspect, but I love it. Or you could just be chilling out in the woods like a weirdo, staring at the villagers, and they're just like, "Yeah, this is okay." But it's great. It is. God, it's just hours of fun. So yeah, I
Can
don't know. You guys
I?
got any questions on it or anything?
I mean, I have some info here that we can share about
Yeah.
just the like you said, it's $20. It hasn't been on sale at all. I have some
Okay.
system requirements here. It is only on PC. I think it's only available on Steam if I'm seeing this correctly.
I think so.
System requirements for anyone that's interested requires a 64-bit operating system. It's only available for Windows 10, Intel Core i5 6600, or a 3.3 gigahertz. 3.3 gigahertz, or an AMD Ryzen 5 1500X at 3.5 gigahertz. You need 12 gigs of RAM, an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 750 Ti 2 gigs, or an AMD Radeon R7 360 2 gigs. And then you need 7 gigs on your hard drive space, and of course a broadband internet connection. But they make a note here that the minimum system requirements might change in the future depending on the updates, so keep an eye on that. Yeah. Anything that else you guys need to know from the Steam page that I can tell you?
That about covers that.
Okay.
Could be good, I think.
It's a very interesting game to watch, let alone play.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that, as someone who has seen someone play it, it does look like something I may pick up in the future. Especially for a game that's only $20.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is definitely fun to watch. That I will say that. Like, if this game has anything going for it other than what Andy outlined, is that it is very fun to watch. I can see this game having a very robust community around it.
Yeah, and I love the feature of, because you are a vampire, it does have like a day and night cycle. And like you can be out in the day, but you have to be in like the shadows, which is really
There's also a blood moon cycle. Uh, I forget how often it occurs, how many days, might be like 14, 15 or something, I don't know. But it makes you more powerful at night or in that blood moon. I think it's like 20 or 30% better stats from whatever blood you've absorbed.
That's
Oh, yeah.
sick.
Yeah, and speaking of, there are different classes in the game you can be. There's like rogue, brute, warrior, I don't know, and a few others. But it depends on which human you suck blood from, because you can suck blood from just about any creature in this game and essentially absorb their class or classification if they have one. And it gives you different perks. So you could be any class at any time, technically. And eventually you can take them prisoner and drain their blood and feed them rats. It's great.
So does it feel like way more fleshed out than say like other early access games that you've played then? Like it
Oh
seems like
god,
there's
yes.
it seems like
Yes.
there's a ton to do.
There is. Yeah. It's I mean, what's weird is like when I play this game, I know it's early access, but it doesn't feel like it. So that's good. It feels very fleshed out. I'm sure they're going to add more. I don't know how long it's going to be in early access, but man, freaking stellar.
Yeah, that looks I mean, I've been allow me to say a pun, enthralled, enchanted, perhaps, uh, watching you and others play V Rising. It just it's a really fun, different take, I think, on this style of game. Like Valheim was like, ah, I've seen this. This is neat, whatever. But this game is just like somehow wholesome yet gothic, and that's kind of my entire shtick. So
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Yeah.
Anything else on V Rising?
I've got nothing.
I can't think of nothing else yet.
Do you
Yeah.
guys want to talk the Sony State of Play?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
All right. So the
Yeah.
Sony State of Play, we're kind of kicking off the summer news cycle a little bit here with it. Yeah, they had that was last week, and it revealed actually quite a bit. Sorry, I'm just multitasking like a motherfucker. So let's start with the games that are coming to the PlayStation VR. And then we'll go to the games that are going over to PC, and then what's coming to PS5. So PSVR 2 is getting Resident Evil Village, No Man's Sky, and we saw more of The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners Chapter 2, and Horizon Call of the Mountain. Coming to PC is Marvel's Spider-Man, which I'm pretty sure, Green, you've been wanting to play that for a while, right?
I have been wanting to play the sequel.
Oh, the Miles
when-
Morales.
when
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales is a standalone. I am waiting for Marvel's Amazing
Peter's-
Spider-Man 2,
Oh, okay.
which I guarantee will not come on the PC for a long time. But the funny thing about that is, like, I saw a video of a guy who cut his exclusive Spider-Man PS4 in half with a saw because he was mad that Sony was allowing this game to go to PC.
Oh my
Which,
God.
if you're someone like that who's pissed off because an exclusive no longer becomes an exclusive, you need to reevaluate your fucking life. Okay.
Seek therapy.
Yeah,
Oh,
like it's the same argument as, oh, I had to pay for that, so everyone else should have to pay for that.
burn your Carhartt.
It's
Like-
insane to me. Like
Yeah.
you were literally sawed money in half,
Yeah.
like something you paid for
Yeah.
in half. You think that hurt Sony? Absolutely not. That hurt fucking you and only you.
You know what
I
hurt Sony?
myself to Sorry.
Sending Morbius back to theaters.
Yeah. I still haven't watched that.
Oh,
One.
no.
Morbius sweet. Morbid out, yo.
It's Morbid
Morbid
time.
time.
Hell yeah.
So then we saw trailers and gameplay for Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 16, Stray, which also comes to PlayStation Plus in July, Roller Dome, The Callisto Protocol, Season, A Letter to the Future, Tunic, and Eternal Nights.
One thing I do want to mention on this one is Stray is actually on Steam right now.
Mhm.
It
Yep.
is on sale, and then Stray is going to be free on that PlayStation Plus platform.
Yeah.
Same thing with that Spider-Man remake. That remake will be free to PlayStation users, and it comes with all the heckin' DLC that came out for it. So that's a lot of Spider-Man.
Yeah. So anything here excite you guys? I know the Callisto Protocol, that one kind of
Most
got
of it.
most of it excites you.
Yeah.
Same.
I was gonna say the Callisto Protocol, it had like definitely has me interested.
That shit looked brutal.
Yeah, well, it's from members of the Dead Space team, and it gives you Dead Space vibes for sure. Um, Final Fantasy
Now,
16 looked pretty hype. Lots of classic Final Fantasy summons. I think that looks pretty fucking dope. I think that might be pretty fucking dope. What are you
yeah,
gonna say,
I
Green?
saw the trailer for Callisto Protocol. Is that gonna be only on PlayStation, or
I think
is that
so.
also coming straight to PC? Because I'm not gonna buy a PS5 just for these games. They would
Yeah.
have to do something absolutely wild to get me to buy a PS5.
Oh,
I'm sorry. What was your question there, Green?
If Callisto Protocol was going on Steam as well, or
yeah,
if it
it's
was
coming to Windows.
only.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, yeah,
Alright.
I would be
Cool, cool, cool,
surprised
cool.
if it wasn't for sure.
Yeah, Callisto Protocol is going to be on PS5, Xbox, PS4, Xbox One, and
Okay.
Microsoft Windows.
Okay. Good,
So-
good,
Yeah.
good, good.
And like as far Danny, you brought up that like Callisto Protocol had like some of the people involved with Dead Space on it. Man, like okay, all right. Let me tell you something. Dead Space is one of my favorite games ever in the whole wide world. And I had a small funeral when EA bought Visceral Games, and I was like, all right, well, it's gonna get turned into Chum now. Uh, so like we're talking about Striking Distance, which is like a little formation of a group that was like a studio with like PUBG Corporation, now PUBG Studios. That was helmed by Glenn Schofield, who previously co-created the Dead Space series. And then like later on, you had others like Steve Papoutsis, I think his name is. He also co-developed that whole series, and then like up to the point where Schofield left, and then like we're talking about the designers, the animation director, like 25, somewhere between 25 and 30 former people from Visceral Games and Sledgehammer Games coming together to make Striking Distance, which is the studio working on Callisto Protocol. When I got to watch Indy watch this showcase and see
Oh,
his
that's right.
face light up when he saw
Yeah.
this, I was like, dude, this is Dead Space, like the actual next Dead Space game. Fuck the remake, forget what you know. Callisto Protocol is the thing. It's what I'm here for.
It does
That
look
will-
very promising.
That will sell me a
stoked.
PS5, dude.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So what, Indy, what
Yeah.
what is exciting you? What is tickling your testicles here?
Oh, Jesus, there's so much. So to start off, I'm excited for the wrong reasons for this, I'm sure. But Resident Evil Village. Now, I'm not a fan of VR in general. It still kind of feels gimmicky for the most part, and it's very dumbed down gameplay, which it kind of needs to be because it's VR. It's clunky, it's weird, it's hard, takes adjustment. You know, it is what it is. But man, Mommy D, yes, that's the reason I'm excited for that. Other than her, and yeah, with a baby. Other than her, I don't care. But as far as VR for Horizon, oh my god, just the atmosphere and the things you can do in that looks so good. I just want to live there. That is a stellar game choice for VR, and it's going to be. I think that's going to be like just bestseller. Like it's going to be amazing. So I'm very excited for that. Callisto Project, obviously. I've been waiting for a good Dead Space. Dead Space 2 is where it stopped for me. It was fantastic. After that, I was just like, what is this crap?
It
But
was a
but this,
letdown for sure.
yeah, unfortunately, it happens, you know. But Callisto Project looks absolutely gorgeous. It is very Dead Space. It seems to be back towards those roots in many good ways. I look forward to it very much. Stray is effing adorable. I'm not really like, I love cats, but I don't want to own one, even though I do. He's actually really great. We got really lucky. But I'm not like crazy about cats or anything. But Stray, I mostly just want to play it for the weird story and the robots. I love robots. Robots are great. But that looks like a really good game. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. What's the price right now? Does anybody know?
It is actually on sale right now on Steam.
Yeah.
And I believe it was 26. Let me double check because I had it on my screen and then I lost it.
Okay.
$26.99.
You know what?
99.
Yeah, $26.99.
That's not bad.
It's on sale from I think the normal price is $29.99. Yeah, 10% off
Ooh.
right now.
Even if I get like 6 hours out of that, I wouldn't even be mad. But
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be a fun game. I know my girlfriend's gonna love it. She's all about some cats and stuff. So, God, what else was there on that list? I gotta look up the list. You got it on you by chance?
There was Roller Dome season, a letter
Roller
to the
Dome.
future.
Yeah.
Street Fighter
Tunic.
Roller
6.
Dome. Oh yeah, Street Fighter. Oh, it looks so good. I haven't
All
played
of
Street
the
Fighter since like 2. And
right, all the
that's gonna
sleeveless
bring me
hoodies,
back.
Indy. Every character
Bro.
having sleeveless hoodies.
Bro, on point
Every one
with
of
the
them.
style. Ridiculous, but I love it because they look good. The music
Right.
for that whole preview is fantastic. The game looks great. It looks like they're gonna show a lot of roots and origins. Like, dude, I'm here for that. This is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Takes place after Street Fighter 5, but also after Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, but not after Street Fighter 4 or 2.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird, but I love it.
Green.
Yeah.
Is there anything here that excited you?
I mean, Callisto Protocol looked pretty dope. I saw the trailer for that. It looks dope. It looks absolutely terrifying. It's probably something I'm never gonna play ever. But yeah, I mean, like Stray looks pretty interesting as well. I mean, again, something I'm probably gonna play because it's just, yeah, eh. But definitely the Spider-Man, and Spider-Man Miles Morales going on PC. Like, I probably won't buy the Spider-Man like the original one, but I will definitely pick up the Miles Morales when it comes to PC.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't played that because I haven't booted up my PS4 in years
Yeah.
at this point. And it's outdated tech, and I can't bring myself to buy a console when I have a PC that works better than like PS4 and on like at level with the PS5. So
Mhm.
I
Pretty fair.
I can't bring myself to do it. So
Yeah.
which brings me hope though that Sony is moving away from the like exclusivity and realizing that they can make a boatload more money if they release everything to like PC and PlayStation. Mainly because I really want to play God of War Ragnarok. And Spider-Man 2. So hopefully they're opening their eyes to the possibility that they can make a lot more money. A lot more money.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the Sony State of Play?
Just happy with what we saw. Surprised we didn't see a trailer or just like a formal announcement of Death Stranding 2. But yeah, Callisto
Yeah.
Protocol looks great. Street Fighter 6 is going to be more Street Fighter. Hopefully it's better than 5. They don't have to do much to be better than it because the bar is pretty damn low. Final Fantasy 16 looks pretty neat. I've always wanted to take my summons and mash them together like action figures, so that'll be cool. But yeah, that was it was at least better than the last State of Play. I'll say that.
Yeah. If that's it on that, let's talk about deals of the month.
Deals of the month.
Yeah, so first show of the month, let's talk about what you guys can pick up for free and or pretty cheap. I'm gonna start out with itch.io. They have the Queer Games bundle. It comes with 588 games for as little as $10. It's a pay what you want thing, and it goes to supporting queer game developers. So definitely a good deal to check out and um, support some smaller indie devs, especially those in the queer community. Twitch, if you guys have Twitch Prime, which of course you can always subscribe if you have Twitch Prime for free once a month to a creator of your choice. I highly recommend subscribing to Indie or either of my lovely co-hosts. But the games you can get for free is Escape from Monkey Island, WRC 8, FIA World Rally Championship, Calico, Astrologaster.
Strolagaster.
I like the name.
Astrologaster sounds like some sort of like anal fissure cream.
You ain't wrong.
That's an image I needed in my head today. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then Across the Grooves, which I believe is like an entirely I believe I've heard of this before. Did Rev review it?
Rev loved that game.
Yeah.
I believe it's the one that gave off the like tell me why what's the other games?
And Life is Strange.
Life is Strange, that's it.
Yeah.
Something about like a
it's about like a record
I know
player.
It was like a record, something about a record, and like it was foreign. I believe it was like made in
France.
Tell me in the comments. I think it was like France. I think.
Yeah. And then Far Cry 4, you can get that for free on Ubisoft Connect with your Twitch Prime account, which I would say Far Cry 4 is worth playing, but also it's Ubisoft, and I don't actively advocate for people to give Ubisoft the time of day until they fix their culture. Just like how
Still hasn't happened, by the way.
Still hasn't happened. As much as I also want to say that about Blizzard, we did just do like an entire thing on Blizzard, but
Right. Ubisoft game, climb tower, look at map, jump off tower, kill man, go next tower.
That's a really solid summary.
I'd like the Far Cry series though.
I like 3.
I like 3, I like 4, I liked 5. I haven't played 6 because of my dedication to not giving Ubisoft money. On Humble Bundle, you can get the CD Skylands bundle that ends on 6/15, and the Rockstar Games sale up to 65% off that ends in like 5 days. Mendachi, you got what's coming up with PlayStation?
Yeah, so PlayStation is a little bit behind the times. They still have their days of play up, probably because of the state of play. So we're probably going to have to touch base on this next week. Days of play goes until the 8th. Right now, you've got 60% off. So I mean, like literally, if you do this tonight or tomorrow when this actually gets uploaded, they've just got their games under $20, which is kind of like their old guard. You've got your Mortal Kombats, your Assassin's Creed, Batman, Red Dead, so on and so forth. There's a mistype here. It's not under $20, but Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is 20% off at $55.99. But you'll find that in the games under $20 tab. For their best sellers, they're really pushing Star Wars Skywalker Saga and WWE 2K22. Along with the show. So there's tons of stuff here. Far Cry 6 is only $23.99 since we just brought that up. Deathloop, same thing, $23.99. And if you've been waiting out on Cyberpunk 2077 is finally back up on the digital storefront. I think it's been there for a couple months. It's currently only $24.99. But yeah, I mean, these deals are only going to be good until, I want to say, 12 a.m. going into the 9th. So you have literally tonight as we are live and tomorrow, the 8th, to grab those. For Nintendo, they don't have a lot going on as far as their sales go. It's pretty lackluster right now. Right. Surprise. So save now on the Overwatch. It's 50% off until June 15th. It's $20. that seems like to me, as someone who's played hundreds of hours of Overwatch, sadly, and I'll never get those back, but probably one of the worst ways to play Overwatch that you could choose, but it's a choice that you could make. And then Shantae has their 20th anniversary. If you're not familiar with Shantae, I don't know what to tell you, man. She's been going around doing magic for 20 years. All of her games are, well, not every game, but most of her games are on sale right now on the Switch until the 16th. So there's tons of Shantae games. So if you're looking for something fun for your kid to play, or if you're an old school lover of the Shantae games, definitely give that a check because that's so light. Let me just say on Humble, you've got some really awesome other things on sale, like Inscription for $11, or Elden Ring is also on sale. There's tons of stuff over there. You should click our link, which is our affiliate link, so you can actually help out the channel and go shopping, because there's a lot of cool stuff on there, including Starfinder books.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I do have to mention about Nintendo,
Mhm.
my fiance picked up Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Mhm.
That game came out in 2017. It's 5 years old.
Yes.
It is still at the full price on the online store.
Yep.
That
The
Always
Zelda game.
blows my
It's
mind.
just how it is. It's Nintendo,
It's-
man.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. I have to keep telling her that if she plans on buying like a AAA title Nintendo game, we need to start going to the used store and buying the cards
Yeah.
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 because it's cheaper, so
It
much
is.
Yeah.
cheaper.
Find
Uh,
find your
Nintendo is
local
very
used game
much
store.
Nintendo's very much the Disney of the gaming consoles. They are strict on prices and quick to take down anything that's even remotely close to an IP that they own.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They're
it's-
also
it's-
pushing their
Ugh.
they're also pushing their refurbished store. So if you
Oh,
want to
really?
pay basically more than, say market value for most things, and they've already been handled by somebody else and broken and sent in to go get fixed, you
Oh,
can
no.
just buy things that are refurbished from them, like a Switch Lite for $170 refurbished,
What?
or
A Switch Lite? Ugh.
or a full-on Nintendo Switch Red and Blue Joy-Con refurbished for $259.99.
Uh,
Okay.
that's almost $150 cheaper than brand new off the factory line. Green, what's going on with Xbox?
Yes, we have some Xbox games pass news. Earlier this month on June 1st, For Honor Marching Fire Edition came to Cloud Console and PC. On June 2nd, Ninja Gaiden the Master Collection went on for console and PC. And then as of today, Assassin's Creed Origins is now available for consoles on Game Pass. Chorus and Disco Room both come to Cloud Console and PC today. And then Space Lines from the Far Out comes to console and PC. That's today. On June 21st. Sorry?
Oh, real quick, Mendachi corrected me in the chat, and I just want to get it out there. It's
How
only
dare.
$40 less than the brand new the Switch. Continue. I'm sorry, Green.
I can't. This is so rude. I can't do this anymore. June 21st, Shadowrun Trilogy comes to console and PC. And then Escape Academy comes to console on June 28th. However, there are some games that are leaving Game Pass on June 15th. So if you want to play them, make sure you get your time in before they're gone. That includes Darkest Dungeon, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, Greedfall, Limbo, and Worms Rumble.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
the only one I could see anyone like being super duper excited to. Well, Greedfall was kind of a flop, right?
Yeah, I didn't think anyone was super hyped about that.
I was
The
hyped
hype
until I
build
saw.
up and then the
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah.
I was hyped till I saw it was by Spider Games, which cranks out a whole bunch of clone games that are clunky as shit. It's about as clunky as OG Dragon Age Origins, and it has the same exact graphics, and it's pretty bad. It's pretty dookie poo poo bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a lot of people who really enjoyed Darkest Dungeon.
Darkest,
Yeah,
I
oh,
mean,
yeah.
Darkest Dungeon's a
That's
good
good
game.
It's pretty
shit.
tight. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the games that they're adding on are just,
Yeah.
Sequel's been out.
yeah, best.
Um,
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins has been out for forever. So
Jesus, yeah, that's
Ninja
old.
Gaiden, it's the Master Collection. I mean, it's Ninja Gaiden.
yeah. I want to mention real quick that GOG does have their summer sale going on right now,
Hell yeah.
so you can check that out too.
An opportunity to buy The Witcher 3 on sale again this year.
Cyberpunk is 50% off.
Dude, let's get
With
With
extra
50%
crunchy and
less
crusty.
bugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Anything else that we want to talk about?
No.
Just one more thing.
Yeah.
That I'm excited about from the playthrough stuff. Resident Evil 4. I don't know why I forgot about it. Just
Oh,
blacked out. I don't know
yeah.
what happened. I'm very excited for that, but I hope they give it the Resident Evil 2 treatment because that was amazing.
Yeah,
Orgasmic even.
You and
but
I
3,
talked
not
ad
so much.
nauseum about that.
Yeah.
Like we
If
were,
they give
we
it the
were
2
going
treatment,
hard.
then we're good. But also, where is my Resident Evil Director's Cut remake? God! Killing
Man,
me, dude.
screw your director's cut. Give me Code Veronica.
That's fair too. Both. Can we just have both?
Give me both. Both.
I'm greedy. Give it all.
Well, guys,
That's it.
okay. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up the show then. Indy, what's coming up with you?
More Elden Ring, man. I am stuck so hard. It's gonna be another like 80 hours at least on this seamless co-op brought to you by Luki, who also did the co-op for Sekiro. He did it for Elden Ring. It's pretty solid so far. There's one game-breaking bug that they're trying to get everybody to join, and that they're also working on fixing. And combined with the randomizer, where it randomizes pretty much every item if you wanted to in the game, it breathes new life into Elden Ring for me. Me, Haunted, and Vulgar, and Mina, and Salty, and other people are just going through it, and it's great, and I love it. And I'm just like in love with Elden Ring again. I'm stuck on it until something better comes out.
Green, what's coming up with you?
Sorry, I think you cut out. Yeah.
You did
Green?
Yeah, you did kinda-
Missed the
Check.
name.
Green?
There you go.
Me?
Green?
Me?
You. Also, give me your
Me.
dog. Let me
Oh,
fight
which
you for your
one?
dog, Green. The
Which
shepherd.
one?
I saw
Was it
that shepherd.
The shepherd? You can have
Yeah.
it for free.
Oh my God, yes! I'm driving up there tomorrow, dude.
All right. You'll have to fight the actual owner of the dog. However, I do not care if you take that dog.
Easy, I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, stuff is coming. Probably gonna be playing Hunt Showdown and Star Citizen this week. Mainly Hunt Showdown because I miss playing it every day because I'm obsessed with that game. But you can catch me at twitch.tv/Mr. Green Elite. Also on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the works, TikTok. And just grinding away, like writing out some stuff for YouTube and getting footage and like actually putting stuff together now that I actually have my own software, Adobe stuff, and I have it between two PCs so I can jump back and forth, like camera PC to gameplay footage PC, and still keep that crisp 1080 beautifulness. So hopefully we'll have something soon on both my personal channel and Next Nothing's channel. So
Excellent. Mendachi.
Hi. My other co-host of Podcast for Two People, which we put out an episode last week, super fun, about New York Ninja, the movie that never should have been, from Hong Kong Kung Fu master John Liu. You should definitely check that out. That was super fun this week. Not sure what we're gonna get up to, but as far as the gaming channel, the twitch.tv/Mendachi, me and Brent, as well as our friend Vic, will likely be dueling each other on a game that Brent had shown me last week called Hellish Quart. Quart as in quarts of blood that you will be spilling. It's a kind of like physics-based sword dueling game where it's like just about one hit will kill you. And it's like first one to win 3 rounds typically. And it came out last year. It's only $17. Really highly rated. I got a few copies and spread them around to some friends last week. I will definitely be doing that. Maybe playing as like a friar with a two-handed longsword, trying to cut off some heads. I don't know. And then probably some more Monster Hunter. You know, we're getting close to Sunbreak, so you know I got to make some money. But you know, we'll see. Otherwise, you can catch me on Twitter talking about some stuff, and that's at Only Mendachi. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's see. Coming up this week, tomorrow and Thursday, Hunt Showdown. I got some YouTube stuff on the second channel. And then you guys can follow me on Twitter at Danny K. I think that's the show, guys.
I do believe it is.
So yeah, guys, thanks for watching and listening. Your time with us is always appreciated. Of course, we're not just interested in your time and your attention. We are interested in your thoughts as well, and anything that we talked about. Especially let us know your thoughts on the on Diablo Immortal. Also, tell us all about your answer to the question of the week, which would be, what would you name your game studio and what kind of games would you make? Let us know in the comments of YouTube. And yeah, real quick, just on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe, never miss an episode. And also, YouTube is like the definitive version of, well, YouTube and Spotify, or really the podcast, it's the definitive version. When you guys join us live, we have some technical issues every once in a while. So if you guys did miss any part of the show or had any issues with this week's episode, please make sure you do check it out on YouTube if you really want to get the full experience. But yeah, we're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. If you guys want to catch us live, you can find us on Twitch every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. If you like what we do and want to help support us, drop a like and subscribe. Ring that bell. That does help us out a ton. And if you really want to take it to the next level, the number one way of doing that is by telling your friends or retweeting us on Twitter. Otherwise, until next week, stay safe, stay healthy, keep fighting the good fights, and we'll talk to you guys again next week. Bye!
Love you.